When Ginny Porterfield graduated from Whitworth in 1965, her degrees in sociology and psychology led her to her first job in Tacoma with the Juvenile Justice Department. She was a juvenile parole officer for 2 years and a juvenile probation officer for 11 years. In order to regain my sanity, she says, and to be refreshed spiritually, I went to Washington, D.C. to volunteer for a year at Fellowship House. This is a part of the International Foundation, which puts on the National President's Prayer Breakfast each year. Ginny's year in Washington was one of serving and meeting people from all over the world. She returned to D.C. every year for 17 years to help with the prayer breakfast, solidifying relationships with people whom she counts as friends to this day. Back home, Ginny devoted herself to volunteer work with an urban ministry that proved to be God's training ground for her in working with the poor and with a local chapter of Habitat for Humanity. I spent much of my time speaking in churches and service organizations, just getting the word out, she says. After 13 years helping to create housing for 40 families, she passed the baton to other volunteers. Her chapter of Habitat flourishes to this day, housing more than 100 families. My next season in life, Ginny says, caught me completely off guard. She befriended a woman with mental illness who had been repeatedly evicted from her homes. Ginny and her Habitat friends moved Daphne to a trailer court where Ginny became aware of the heart-wrenching stories of children living in the trailers. Ginny started a Bible club in the trailer court. And 13 years later, she says, we're just getting those children hooked into local churches. For 14 summers, my church, Harbor Covenant, has paid for them to go to camp, and we have held monthly Bible clubs with them. Our people have been faithful. In 2004, Ginny became aware of Children of the Nations, which supports schools, orphanages, medical clinics, and food programs in several developing countries. Their work in the Dominican Republic is what stole my heart, Ginny says. I love leading mission trips with people in my church who want to share their skills and hearts with the children and staff there. Ginny takes doctors and occupational therapists to work with disabled children and to train staff and parents to carry on their work. She and others have helped build a school and have taught biblical peacemaking. I don't have a lot of skills to offer, Ginny says, but I do recognize my gift of mobilizing and networking, which helps me bring together the teams to help these precious people. This is the ministry that consumes my time and my heart. I'm preparing to lead my 12th trip to the Dominican Republic this fall. She calls her work with the Children of the Nations my greatest joy. Ginny remembers fondly those at Whitworth who opened her eyes to the world's needs. Fenton Duvall led the study program that took her and other students through Europe, the Middle East, and Russia. She recalls meetings at Fenton and Hannah's home that had a great influence on who she wanted to become and on her knowledge of how vital it is to walk with God. She also mentions Gus Schlau, who she says helped me discover my love for needy children. Mentors like these helped set Ginny on her course towards a lifetime of service in the name of Christ.